Greetings, good people. I hope everyone is keeping well. The countdown is on, and we are less than 48 hours from the AIDS Walk, New York of 2023. The reason why, for me, participation in the AIDS Walk is so important is because I guess that was 3 years, from 2005, from the 1st of February 2005, actually, up to the 11th of April 2008, or actually up to the 4th of April 2008, I believe it was. I worked in the HIV response. That was my job. That was my occupation. And I was working with an amazing, incredible organization, Hope Worldwide Kenya. I loved my work. It was just, for me, it was a dream job. Just working in HIV prevention, based within Kenya, based in a town called Makindu, but then serving the district in which it was, which was Makueni. I believe some of these administrative lines have been reconfigured since then. Now we have counties and other such things. But that was the hub of our activity, at least the program that I was responsible for. And it was incredible, just being able to disseminate information about HIV and AIDS and behavior change, to be able to support people living with HIV, to have focus groups, to have a youth resource center, and to do on-site testing and counseling for HIV, then to do mobile testing and counseling for HIV in villages and in more remote towns, and then also doing Moonlight VCT, which was a very innovative approach that my immediate manager, I believe he was the brainchild, and this was where we took mobile HIV, mobile testing and counseling for HIV to towns that were known as being HIV hotspots, towns where the HIV infection rate was markedly higher than the national average. And these were truck stops along the highway that starts in Mombasa and goes right through the country. It passes through Nairobi, goes on to Nakuru. And so we would set up and do nighttime HIV counseling and testing, diagnostic testing for STIs. There would be entertainment to draw crowds, and it was incredibly, incredibly successful. And so those are just different things that we did. And for me, it was an amazing experience. We also opened up a reproductive health clinic in Makindu. It was thrilling. It was thrilling to be able to work with young people. It was thrilling to be able to work in the area of HIV prevention and treatment. It was just incredible to be among the people of Makueni and the outlying areas. And apart from me enjoying my job, it was a great opportunity to serve. I was relatively well paid. By Kenyan standards, I was relatively well paid. I wasn't wealthy, but I was relatively well remunerated. And I always thought to myself, it's easier, let me say easier, to do a job when you feel that you're well compensated monetarily. It doesn't even have to be your passion. It doesn't have to be something you believe in. As long as your bank account is getting shown some love, you'll do the work. And I believed that I loved the work. And so I told myself, and I made a commitment to myself, that going forward, wherever I would be in life, even if not working professionally in the area of HIV, the HIV response, I still wanted to find a way or some ways to be part of the cause and not only be in it when I'm being paid for being there. And so for me, at this point that I live in New Jersey, just on the edge of New York City. I'm just not far from New York City. I This has been one of my commitments to be in the AIDS walk. Every year if possible. There are a few years I've not been there, but it's just a commitment from the heart. I feel like my contribution isn't great, but at least it is a contribution. So I just wanted to explain my commitment and what stirs in my heart in terms of participating in the AIDS walk every year. Some years I've raised more money than others, because sometimes it's hard to keep going back to the same people, and equally hard finding new donors or sponsors. And none of the money comes to me. It all goes to the organizers, so they then can continue their programs and service to individuals, families, and communities affected by HIV and AIDS in the New York metropolitan area and the extended tri-state area of New York City and, let's just say New York State, and then New Jersey and Connecticut. So that is where my heart beats as far as the walk, and very excited. Like I've said before, it's 4 miles. For some people, that's like a jog in the park. For me, that takes all the lungs and legs I have. So I've done some training. I think I'm ready. The biggest challenge in that run is that a lot of it is uphill. So we'll be there. I think I'm ready. Thank you once again to those who have sponsored me. I had to reach a threshold of at least $250 to be allowed to do the run as opposed to the walk. So thank you for those. I mean, I still would have participated. Walking is fine. It's just that I wanted to run. And I do appreciate all those who supported me, all those who've given me the chance to run rather than walk, but then also knowing that the sponsorship was not towards me personally, but really it was towards the cause that AIDS Walk is supporting. Here we have the weather forecast for Sunday. Now the race is scheduled to start at 8:30, and so it says here that the expected temperature is 60 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm not sure immediately what that is centigrade, but 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Then the walk will start at 10 a.m., so 63 degrees. That sounds a bit chilly. Let's see what this converts to in centigrade. All right, so Fahrenheit, let's go to 60 here. Whoops, let me readjust the camera. So 15. So, for some, this might be a very comfortable temperature. For some, it might be hot, chilly. But if you're going to run, you don't really want it to be too hot. So that is the forecast. Then earlier there was mention of some rain. That's the way they had put it. And then here, this is from weather.com. It says a 3 or 2% chance of rain. And then it'll be partly cloudy. So I think those are good conditions for a nice run. Here is the route map. So that is Central Park there on the map, with the huge lake. I guess they call it a reservoir in the middle. Very scenic park, lovely park. And so the start is right there where it says checkpoint. So that's the start, and then we make our way along. There are a lot of nice views, actually, because you have the Metropolitan Museum of Art, then the reservoir, and then as the race continues, there's the Jewish Museum, as you see indicated there. Then there's Mount Sinai Kravis Children's Hospital. Big up to Mount Sinai Hospital. That is the hospital where I was born, actually. So I just get a tingle of excitement anytime I hear Mount Sinai Hospital mentioned. So, not that we'll be at the hospital. As you can see, there's some distance. The hospital is off of Fifth Avenue, but big up there. And then we have the north checkpoint. So that's the northerlymost point of the run. And then we start to head, I guess, slightly westwards and start coming back down. So then you have the west checkpoint. Not sure what the checkpoints mean. Perhaps, there'll be water, I guess, maybe, perhaps, along the way. I know usually there's a whole, especially if you're walking, there are a whole bunch of refreshments. And so we just put them in our bags. They're chips, juice, Gatorade, and other things. Sorry, there's a phone ringing here in the back. Not needed. And then we come on down and finally back to where we began. And that is the end point of the race. And that marks a good, healthy 4 miles of running and fundraising. I am all set with my race swag. So I just thought I'd give you a peek at what I plan to be wearing for the fun run in the sun. I wish it was in the sun. Or, well, maybe not. Like we already agreed, it's probably best if it's not too hot. But I've got my race swag together. So here I have my beanie. I like using this beanie. It keeps my hair in place to some extent. And also because it might be a bit chilly, the beanie helps. Then, against the sun, I will have my shades appropriately. They're not sports glasses, but they get the job done. Then again, in case it's too chilly, I usually like having this. Not sure what it's called. I'm not sure if it's called a neck warmer. I think that's the right name. So I will have this on hand in case I need it. And in many cases, when it's really cold, what I do is I'll pull this up over my nose because I get really sick really quick when I go running in the cold. If there's a lot of cold air going into my nose and hitting my chest. All right. So what else do we have? Because there is a chance of rain, I have this top. Some might call it a windbreaker, but I've also heard it said that since the purpose is to protect against rain, then windbreaker might not be the most appropriate term. But I believe that is the term that's out there. So I've got this windbreaker. I love the color. It's yellow. It's nice and a nice positive color. And then what I will also be wearing because of weather considerations is this other windbreaker. So on race day, I'll decide whether I need both or whether I just need one. But I have this other windbreaker also on hand. Now you might notice that all these pieces so far are Adidas. I love the brand Adidas. I've been in love with it since I was a little boy, and my elder brother went for a summer camp in Switzerland. And then I didn't get to go to the camp. I stayed home. And when he came back from the camp, he had a pair of green Adidas football shorts. And from then on, I was in love with the brand. And then on top of that, there's a team in Kenya called Gor Mahia. If you're in Kenya as you watch this, you're familiar with Gor Mahia, the mighty Kogalo. And for a long time, they wore Adidas. And there was also, as a younger person, I used to go to the stadium to watch their games. I would go with my father and my twin brother. At another point, I would go to the team camp and then end up going to the stadium with the team in their buses. That was, for me, as a young boy, that was super exciting. The thing is, though, back to Adidas, is Gor Mahia used to wear the Adidas brand on their green kit, on their white kit, on their blue kit. And then for a short period, the Gormahia kits, game-worn kits, were being brought to our house to be washed. So I would get to like hold a Gormahia Adidas football kit in my hands. I was in football kit heaven. Now, back to my swag. Then I also have, of course, some socks. Nice, relatively thick and good socks. Then I'm also going to be wearing leggings. I don't always do that, but I've got these leggings. So again, it helps keep the muscles warm. And given that it will be a bit chilly, that'll be a need and that'll be a help. So I'm going to have these, full length leggings. And then over my leggings, I will have these red shorts. Now these red shorts are very significant. Actually, these are for the Team Hamburg SV, highest foul from Germany. That is, and for years has been my favorite German football team. We're currently in 2 Bundesliga, hoping for promotion. We've been hoping for promotion for the last 6 years. But, and actually one of the nicknames of the team is the Red Shorts. So these are very special. A friend of mine brought them from Germany. I've never worn them. And so this will be my first time to wear these. And so those are the shorts I'm going to be wearing. And then as I arrive, I will be wearing this tracksuit bottoms. I'm not going to run in them, but that's what I'm going to wear as I travel to the venue. These actually are replica AC Milan. So AC Milan is my favorite football team in Italy. They used to have an Adidas kit. They've now changed their kit manufacturer. But again, I love these. These actually I got in Kenya. And in Kenya we have a term mitumba. Mitumba means second-hand clothes. So they're clothes that have come from Europe or the US, maybe other countries as well. And by the time they get, it's previously owned, and then the owners, made them available. They end up being transported to Kenya. And it happens in many African countries. And I got this mitumba, means second hand. And when I saw this, it looked first hand. To me, it still looks first hand. Forgive the phone ringing in the background. And so I love this. There's a tracksuit top that goes with it, but I'm not going to wear that on Sunday. So here's my AC Milan tracksuit bottoms. Wonderful. And then, yes, I'm going to also have a compression top. Again, due to the weather, it helps keep the muscles warm. At least I think that's the whole idea. And so I'm going to be wearing this under my race bib. Then I'm going to have some shoes on my feet. And so I have my my Adidas kicks right here. I love them. I've had them for a few months. I've been running, and at a certain point I realized that for the health of my feet, I need proper running shoes. And so this is what I have. Got some Adidas on my feet, and I feel complete. Then there's the race bib. Now this is from the organizers. It is not Adidas, but this is it. AIDS Walk New York 2023. Oops, I hope that's showing well. And then you've got some sponsors' names on the back. And a lot of these companies are regular sponsors of the event. So GMHC, those are that's the organizers. And then there's VIIV Healthcare. All right, actually I thought there were more logos on the back, but this is it. And my race number, that is 106. So I'll be runner number 106. And then with this little piece at the back, for each runner, their position and their time will be made available, will be captured and then be made available online. So that's my race swag, and looking forward on Sunday, not so much to the swag, though I love the swag. I'm not the greatest runner, but I like to run, try and stay healthy, try and stay as youthful as I can. More than the swag, just looking forward to the event itself. Being there on Sunday, My son is going to be there. His friend is going to be there. The three of us, we are looking forward to having a great time in solidarity with tens of thousands of others who are there as one chorus for the cause of the HIV response in the tri-state area.